He's led worship, and now he's leading some of the most notable singers of our generation right into his corner. Here to talk about his journey, success, and culture is NBC's The Voice and Tampa's very own Jeremy Rosado. So thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So congratulations on your recent victories. I just wanted to say that. You
Thank
made
you
it to
so
season
much.
21. That's super impressive. I mean, making it this far. But before I talk to you about that, I kind of first want to talk to you a little bit about your journey to how you got to where you are now.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, yeah, life is wild. Season 21 of The Voice, but I've put in so many years of work. Honestly, working really hard to get to this point, to be able to catch like an opportunity like this. Been putting out records, been touring. Had to take some time off, to be a full-time dad at the same time. I've been a worship leader for a long time now as well. So it's been a lot of just on the come up, trying to make it happen. And then this just kind of came out of the blue and just kind of changed everything.
Wow. So it seems like you've had quite the journey, and clearly singing is nothing new to you. I know you haven't taken a break, which is awesome, but we all had to start somewhere. So where exactly did you start?
Like all the way from the beginning,
Yeah.
first started singing. I grew up in New York City, in Queens, New York, and I've been singing since I was 3 years old. Somehow through the years, getting like to 6 or 7, just remembering my brothers and sisters like putting on concerts for me, just kind of being the most supportive people in the world, and understanding they were like, okay, this kid is definitely going to sing. This is obviously what what he's meant to do and what he loves. And yeah, I mean, it all started for me, at block parties on 110th Street in Queens, New York, Richmond Hill, performing for the block. And it's just wild. It's just crazy.
Wow. Definitely have come a long way and lots to show for it. So I know you auditioned for American Idol several times. How many times exactly did you audition for the show?
Going back to the Idol years, I auditioned 5 times for Idol, and it was the fifth audition that finally did that for me, and obviously made the top 13 of Idol, and got to meet the love of my life, Jennifer Lopez. That was one of the greatest experiences of my life. Um, but yeah, it took 4 years, 5 auditions for them to even like give me a second look. So, but when they did, it we basically went all the way to the live shows, and that's always the goal in a thing like this. I'm saying, to be on TV as long as possible and build traction, build a fan base, and just find opportunities and how to make something amazing happen after this. Because even the winners of these shows like have to really work really hard. The stars have to align. You've got to really have God's favor, whatever you want to call it. For me, it's God's favor. I really believe that, and a lot of hard work to figure out like where and how to make this sustainable, this career.
Absolutely. So I'm just gonna put this out there. J Lo is my love of my life too. I think I think she's everybody's love of their lives.
Yes, she
Um,
is.
but I'm sure doing that so many times took a lot of courage and perseverance. I mean, what was the driving factor in that for you?
To be honest with you, I saw Kelly Clarkson win American Idol when I was 10 years old. And I remember the day, the moment that I walked out my room and told my parents, hey, I'm going to do this. And you're gonna be able to vote for me. You're gonna see my name at the bottom of the screen. And besides the fact that this is full circle, like I can't even put into words working with Kelly. It's just like that little kid, that 10-year-old kid in me that dreams humongously. He still like pushes me every day. And that's the reason why I did Idol, and I never gave up, and I kept fighting until somebody saw me. And even with this now, what I mean, being on The Voice, it's the most incredible experience. I loved Idol, but this experience is superior for sure. I don't even know how to explain it. Even from the love NBC and everyone at the show has been giving me, feature me in my blind audition and my battle. It's been so unbelievable, honestly.
It seems like The Voice is a little more intimate. You're of course getting that one-on-one. You're
Yeah.
having all of these impressive singers teach you and guide you and listen to you, which is amazing. And I know as humans, you know, all of us can be our own biggest critics sometimes, but going on a show where you have several of the most like impressive names in the music industry can probably be a little bit intimidating or maybe even difficult. I don't know if you ever get stage fright, but did you ever have any doubts, or how did you deal with like the feedback that you've received being on these shows?
Yeah, it's not easy like being on these shows, number one, because you've becoming as vulnerable as possible. You know, you've got
Hmm.
to like, you're putting your gift out there for like the world to see, and like standing in front of Ariana Grande is not normal singing, you know, like that's and we all noticed that, you know, and Kelly and Blake and John and even J-Lo and Steven Tyler and back then. And I don't know, even going back to my blind audition, the amount of pressure that it is to like see those names on those chairs, you know, like it honestly leaves you breathless, and you've got to fight, you know what I mean, your nerves and your your mind to really like be in those moments and execute, deliver, but also like enjoy them. Like, cause like when are you ever gonna get to sing for Ariana Grande again and Kelly Clarkson? Like when this is done, you know, like how are you enjoying all these moments? So that's important for me for sure.
Of course, absolutely. I can't even imagine, honestly. Who would you say out of all of your experiences? So besides Kelly, or maybe you can even include Kelly, but I guess besides Kelly, because she is your coach, who are you maybe most nervous to perform in front of?
I'm super nervous in front of John
Legend?
because yeah, John Legend, because obviously we perform in front of the four of our coaches, even no matter what team you're on. And he's just such a master musician, um, and the best at what he does, and so technically like such a genius in music that it's intimidating, really, to like stand up there, be a singer. Because I'd like to say that I'm not like a perfect singer when it comes to like technicalities. I like to draw from emotion, and for me, like that's like the number one thing. And I think my coach Kelly gets that. Like she understands like what it's like to be a musician, a singer that like wears your heart on your sleeve, and what it's like to move people in that dynamic. I think for John, maybe it's a little more like the technical aspects, excuse me. And yeah, that's scary when you get in front of him. So you want to be
Absolutely.
great.
These are people that have such range. I mean, I know Kelly is either just came out or is coming out with a Christmas album too. And I already started like last month listening to her old one. So that just says enough. So I can only imagine. And now to speak a little bit about your heritage and who you are. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're Puerto Rican, correct?
I am Puerto Rican, yeah.
That is awesome. Me too. And I know music is such a significant part of our culture, and that's kind
Yep.
of what makes it so unique. Is there
Yeah.
any part of our culture that has maybe contributed some cultural influence to your own sound?
Yeah, I believe that absolutely. I mean, growing up Puerto Rican in New York City, it's like its own Puerto Rico up there. You know what I mean? Being in New York. But my grandparents are obviously from the island, like born and raised there. My parents are born and raised in New York City, but it's never missed us. Like every generation has still caught the same amount of like culture and love, whether it's the food or the music or all the things that it is to be Puerto Rican. You know what it's like. There's just it's out of control, but it's the best thing in the world. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, no, musically, like I mean, one of the greatest musical influences for me is Mark Anthony. Like I just find him to have one of the most beautiful voices of all time. And even Jennifer Lopez, like in the fact of like just being such a successful human, like musically and in every way. Like I'm inspired by her. Like I'm also an actor as well, and I love to see all the different things that she does. You know what I mean, and how she has topped every single one of them. And I don't know. I just like there's nothing like listening to some salsa, or you know what I mean. There's nothing like it. Like
On
on
a
a Saturday
Sunday, cleaning the
morning,
house.
exactly cleaning the house, waking up, hearing it. Like
Yep.
that's it, man. So
That's like a
yeah,
childhood
I love
tradition.
it.
I don't think we ever get rid of that.
No, and it sticks with us. Like the vacuum cleaner pops out on the weekend, and it's like the music is popping at like 8 a.m. and that's just
Yep.
what it is.
If you're not
Yeah.
salsaing with a broomstick, what are you doing on a Saturday? I know.
What are you doing? Oh
So
man.
when was it that you moved to Tampa then?
Yeah. So my parents moved us down to Tampa. I think I was 9 years old. So I've been in Tampa for I don't know, what is that, like 17 years or something? I think my math is
Wow.
wrong, but I'm definitely Floridian now. Um, but I go back home at least once or twice a year back to New York City. I've got a bunch of family out there still. So it's it's just having like the best of both worlds. But yeah, we've been in Tampa for a while, my family and I. Yeah.
Wow. And like lately, I've really been trying to, speak to the amount of talent and creativity that is not only built here, but emerges from Tampa. And clearly, you're a prime example of that. How does it feel to, not only represent Tampa, but the Latino community on the silver screen the way that you are? I mean, I'm sure my grandma's in PR watching you all the time.
It's the most incredible thing, like to represent our people. You know what I mean? It's such an orgullo, like for my family, for my grandma, from my parents, and to be able to represent our people, like, it's something so special because we're not always represented. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, on the silver screen. So I'm really proud and thankful for NBC for creating such a diverse cast and having us on and giving a Puerto Rican guy from Tampa, Florida a shot, and what it is like to represent Tampa. I mean, listen, I've been here and I've kind of done this, like I was in Tampa when I did Idol and Tampa really got behind me and um, really supported me in a way that I can't even put into words. So like, I love my city. I'm proud of my city and I'm super excited and grateful to be representing them again and hoping this goes all the way this time.
I am so excited for you. Rightfully so, though, Jeremy. You definitely got the community and America's support behind you. And speaking of, I want to jump ahead a little bit and talk to you about your current endeavor on this season of The Voice. So walk me through a timeline of kind of what it's been like from when you first auditioned to where you are now. Because honestly, the show it's kind of complicated for me a little bit. So walk me through this.
Yeah, no, totally. It's wild. It's been almost a year of auditioning since my audition. It was right about the beginning of November last year that this process started. I remember I had conversations with some casting people, and you've got to submit your videos no matter who you are. You know what I mean, and get the audition in and hope that the network will give you a shot. And I waited from November till March to get a phone call, because that's just the process. And yeah, I got the phone call in March, and I was like in disbelief because I never thought. I just feel like people don't get two shots like this in a lifetime, to have made it so far in another show and to be able to do this one. Like I never in my wildest dream thought it would happen. So I was really grateful for that call in March. It was the week before my birthday, and then after that, I flew out to LA a few weeks later and started the process of the blind audition. And that's incredible and scary at the same time. So much pressure, but did that, got two chairs to turn. And then, we, excuse me, sorry. We start filming everything else. Like obviously I made it through my battle, and I won my battle. That's aired already. And now, the knockouts are airing this Monday. So we'll see what happens. But each round it's this thing, it's like easier but not like, I don't know how to explain that. You get a little more comfortable being in front of the coaches performing, which that feels good, but at the same time you still lose your breath. It's a whole thing, and it's an incredible mix of emotions that I'll never forget in my life.
Wow, that is awesome. And how has it been with Kelly as your coach? How's that process been?
Kelly Clarkson is the best thing that's happened to me on The Voice this year. I mean, like we said earlier, she understands me as a musician, as a singer, as an emotional human. You know what I mean? And she appreciates the gift that I carry, even if others like don't get it right away. And excuse me, she has been. I told you I watched Idol. I watched when she won. So like, the 10-year-old inside of me is like flipping out. Like, there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way that I meet with her on a one-on-one basis. There's no way that this happens. Like, it's just been, and she's the most amazing person. I mean, when the cameras are on, cameras are off, she's that same human that you think she is on TV, that very loving, caring, real, you know what I'm saying, kind of person. And it's been so incredible, honestly.
Wow. It sounds like it. That's so refreshing to hear because, you know, sometimes we don't get to hear about the altercations between, not altercations, but I guess interactions between people pursuing their dreams and those that inspire them. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
seemed like I watched your battle and it just seemed like you were so moved when Kelly picked you in your battle when you were battling with Jershika. What was going through your mind at that moment? Because both of you are just so extremely talented.
That's the problem, is that on this show you get put, it's almost feels like the Hunger Games, because you gotta sing your butt off, you gotta be the best, but at the same time you're competing against somebody that you love, because you grow relationships with these people. And yeah, no, Jashika is a monster of a singer. And that's the surprise you see on my face when Kelly said I was the winner. I don't think that I'm less than. I just think that you never know what happens. Like which do you pick? What do you prefer? Do you prefer a more of a gospel sound that runs, or do you prefer more of a pure smooth tone? Like what do you pick as the listener? And I'm just so thankful that Kelly sees something in me that makes her think that we can go all the way, and that she would pick me. And yeah, but that was the realest reaction of my life. I remember watching the commercials when they started airing, and I was like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
this is really what you look like, bro."
Yeah,
This
they
is
caught you.
what you look like. They got me from different angles too.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that. I was like, the pure reaction on your face was just amazing because you can tell it's like I said earlier, we're our own biggest critics. So when somebody that you look up to kind of gives you that validation and that support of
Exactly.
like, hey, you are as good as you're not allowing yourself to think you are, it's so special.
Yeah.
Has there been any like specific piece of advice that maybe Kelly's given you that's resonated with you this far?
Yeah, she just loves to like hone in on the fact that I'm an emotional singer, and that like moving people is the most important part of this process. And as a musician, always, people can sing perfect, people can have perfect pitch, people can run, people can do all these things, but if they can't move you in a moment, like if they can't pull your heart out, if they can't make you feel happy, sad, whatever the intention is, if they don't have that gifting, there's something very big missing. She's just like, you have that gift, and you need to just dig into that and communicate. She always tells me to communicate. Like,
Wow.
make sure that you're not trying to be a singer. Communicate, make me feel it. That's it. Yeah.
That's a great piece of advice, and it reminds me of, you know, what we're taught in journalism, and like the approach that I like to take is always to emotionally provoke, because when you're bridging that connection between you and maybe your interview subject, you're forming a connection with the audience, and that makes them feel like, you know, you're kind of a friend, you know them already, you're telling them a story. So it's great to see that that like easily translates into music and that she's able to share that with you. Now I
Yeah.
know this part is where it gets a little confusing for me. Mega mentor is Ed Sheeran this season, which is super exciting because from singing to songwriting, Ed is one of the absolute best. How do you feel about being taught by him? Are you guys being taught by Ed? Is that how that works?
So for Knockouts, we filmed with Ed Sheeran. Yeah. So the Knockouts already filmed. You guys have already seen some of them air this past week, and the rest of us air this coming week. And that was a surprise. Like, whoa! Like, I'm already in a room with Kelly Clarkson, Ariana Grande, and John Legend, and Blake Shelton, and to bring in Ed Sheeran, who's been so monumental in for me as an artist, one of the top five for me always. So to be able to be in the room with him was incredible. To I can't even open up too much about it because you guys haven't seen it yet, but on the levels that we connected, it's just so incredible. And he's such a heart person as well. Like, he's the most humble guy. He was so chill, and his tips and his guidance were I'll definitely carry them for the rest of my life, for real. Yeah. Some of the stuff he told me was so special.
Wow. I cannot even imagine. I'm so excited for you. Okay, now I'm almost done here, but overall,
Okay.
I mean, how are you feeling? If you had to describe the way that you feel in three descriptors, what would they be? Three
Um,
emotions.
I feel like I'm like the certified sad boy because I'm always crying on the show. I feel obviously excited, and I mean grateful. Like, there's not enough words to explain how thankful I truly am. Like, it doesn't make sense to still be on the show. Like there's so many people that would do anything, you know what I mean, to be sitting in this position. And it blows me away. Blows me away.
I bet. Now, is there anything that we should know or that we can expect? Have you released any music? Where can we stream your music? I want to hear all about this.
Yeah, you can. I've been putting out records for a while now, so you can stream my music everywhere you listen to music, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, wherever you listen. I put out a new record called "You" this past year in during the pandemic. So that's really exciting. That's the most recent like body of work for me, and I'm really proud of that record. Yeah, we'll see what happens with the show. However far God allows me to go, and we'll see what happens after. But wherever it ends for me, it's definitely not the end. And I think that's something that I can carry from the other show is that I know how to make this something once it's done. You know what I mean? I know the amount of work it takes, and where to find the connecting pieces to make this dream actually reality. So yeah, I'm really excited.
I'm excited for you. Now, before I head out, Jeremy, I just wanted to touch on real quick. I know that you've got a super special relationship with your daughter, who is also your niece. What
Yeah.
aspect of your relationship helps propel you through all this? Tell me a little bit about that relationship.
You're trying to make me cry early this morning. My kid is everything to me. And she's the reason that I'm pursuing this, the reason that I'm going so hard. I mean, you know, I'm so thankful to the network for showing our story the way they did, and honoring it, and honoring my sister too. But it's just it's been a whirlwind this year. My kid graduated from high school. I was in LA, filming The Voice. But people tell me all the time, "Oh, she's so lucky." No, it's me. I'm lucky. I'm the one that's blessed. Learning how to become a dad so young. It's the reason I'm the man I am today. The reason I can carry stuff on my shoulders the way I can, and problem solve, and just be more empathetic. She just makes me a better human being. She's the love of my life. I'll do anything for her, and I love my sister so much too. And that's just a very sad situation. But some of my friends sometimes they're like, like I would do this all over again. That's what I'm trying to say if I had to. So anyway, yeah, my kid, my baby, and the fact that she loves Ariana Grande is even the best thing in the world because I'm here next to her, like, just being around her. So it's really cool. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. Well, you've definitely shown that you have developed the strength and you've got the strength. And I'm sure that she is so, so, so proud of you. And we all are. We're all rooting for you. And
thank you so much.
Absolutely. Is there anything else that I didn't speak on that maybe you want to touch on at all?
No, I think we got everything. Thank you for the time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for speaking with me today. I am rooting so hard for you. I know that you are going to do such great things.
Well, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it.